Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Touchstone, and I currently make iRacing content. And as everybody knows, Assetto Corsa Evo is early releasing January 16th. I'm going to be streaming this game when it comes out, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can catch that stream and see the actual gameplay live the day that it comes out. Now, with that being said, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the content that has already been released and some general expectations of this game that I personally want, and we're just going to see if we get them. So let's get right into the video. One of my expectations for this game is to have a pretty realistic racing simulation, and that's generally what I want from this game. I think it has the potential to be the leader, hopefully even take over iRacing so I can actually end up saving money. I am slightly concerned about it simply because of, honestly, this right here, the open world map. I know this has nothing to do with racing. However, I believe that this specific map is going to build a great community. That is something that I'm excited for, but the actual racing side of this game, I think that this specific feature is going to invite a lot of the more arcade games into the playing field, as I should say. It's going to attract a lot of those players. And I'm hoping it doesn't leak into the racing side of this game. So if you are playing iRacing, you know that they have a lot of really good ways to separate yourself with safety rating and I rating. That is something that I'm hoping that they implement into this game. I have not seen any news about it because I think it really separates the people who are just wanting to casually race and then the people who are wanting to race and get better. I think iRacing has the best system for that right now, and that is something that I absolutely love about that game, and I'm hoping gets implemented into this one. Now, we won't even see the open world map until the summer of 2025, so we have a little bit of time for that even to begin. That sort of concern of, are we going to have a lot of arcade players coming in where they just wreck into you on race start? Or will we have that separation of I rating and safety rating built into this game with the early access? And the reason why I think we're going to have that built into this game is the cars that they are releasing on the early access release date. Let's get right into that. If we take a look at the original tracks that they are releasing on this, we're getting Bathurst, we're getting Brands Hatch, we're getting Imola, I think that's how you say it. We're getting Laguna Seca and we're getting Suzuka. So we're getting a lot of really good tracks upon release. I am constantly racing Laguna Seca, and I'm actually preparing to race the 911 Cup car on iRacing this week. So I'm going to be running laps on this because I already have a good lap time on iRacing for the Porsche Cup car. So I'm going to get a very, very good comparison on this because I have a good lap time already. So on January 16th, once again, we're going to be trying to turn those lap times and just get the best feel and kind of compare iRacing to Assetto Corsa, and that's something I'm super excited for. So once we have all of our tracks here, we see this, we're going to go over to our cars, and this is where I think Assetto Corsa is going to challenge iRacing. If you're familiar with iRacing at all, there's a few cars that are raced more than anything in that game, and the first one being the Mazda Cup car. iRacing is known to have a very, very good Mazda Cup car. It feels very, very realistic. And Assetto Corsa is releasing this on the actual early access. They're also releasing the Cup car. They're releasing the M2, which iRacing just made free to play. They're also releasing the 488 Challenge. If you know anything about iRacing's model, the first GT3 cars that you can race is this Ferrari 488. It's actually the 296, so it's actually the newer version now that I'm thinking about it. But still, we have very comparable cars to what we have in iRacing. And I think they're trying to challenge that, and that's something that I'm just so excited for, just to actually get into this game and see, how much different is this game going to feel? Is it going to replace iRacing? I kind of hope it does. I'm going to be a little bit upset if I spend a lot of money on iRacing and this game ends up taking over. But I'll also be happy about it because it's going to save me money down the road. Now, we also have the Mercedes AMG GT2. We see this car jumping in the homepage of their website. It looks absolutely awesome. I'm super excited to race this car and actually get into a GT2 car because I don't have it on iRacing yet because that's an additional $12 that I have to pay. And if you look at this, something that is beautiful about what we're seeing on this current page is if you are going to start iRacing versus Assetto Corsa, this car, the Porsche Cup car, the Ferrari 296, and the Mercedes, if you bought the equivalent, that would be about a $36 purchase that you're having to purchase. Whereas this game is more than likely only going to cost 60 bucks. So right there, not even counting the iRacing membership cost, we're saving so much money. So this is going to be a huge competitor for iRacing. iRacing loyalists are obviously going to be staying on that game just because of what it is and how much money they've already spent, like myself. So this is where I think Assetto Corsa is actually starting to separate itself a little bit away from iRacing, and this is where I get concerned but also excited at the same time. So this is where we're getting the stock cars. If you're familiar with any of the news that has dropped in iRacing, they're going to let you upgrade these cars. You can have performance upgrades, visual upgrades, whatever that may be. But this is where we can have those sort of arcade gamers come in versus the racing simulator gamers come in. So I'm really excited for this personally because it gives us the option to race these cars that, we all want to drive in real life, but maybe not have the chance to. I'm just hoping that all of these cars are as realistic as can be. That's something that I'm hoping for. But if it's realistic or not, just having the opportunity to drive these cars in a game and just enjoy it with a community of people, especially in open world. Like if I get to just hop into my S2000, drive it around the nurburgring community, upgrade my car, change the visuals, change the engine, that is just going to unlock such a cool feature and build a community throughout the whole car community. Just building and upgrading your cars. So with that being said, the road cars that they're releasing upon start is something that we can't even compare in iRacing. Like iRacing doesn't really have any road cars at all. There's a couple, but not a lot at all. And that's something that this game just has an advantage over. Like we have the chance to drive the Alpine, we have the chance to drive the Lotus Emira, something that I'm really excited for, a small little lightweight car that handles like a dream. And then we have the legendary GTI. We have the RS3 Sportbacks, which is always a fun car to drive. And then we get down to a couple of more legends here. We have the Ford Escort and we have the Honda S2000. That car is an absolute legend. Everybody knows about the VTEC engine. So I'm super excited just to jump in this car and drive this thing around the Nürburgring. And especially once we get the open world opened up, we can just drive around and have a community where everybody stops in like Misha's videos and just hang out, and hopefully we can just like chat with people. But we're going to see how that is actually implemented once the game fully releases towards the summer of 2025. But then we also have some additional cars. So you're going to have the chance to drive a couple of Alfa Romeos here. You'll see this, the Giulia, as some people like to call it. I don't even know how to actually say that car name, but I'm excited to drive that car because I haven't yet, because iRacing doesn't quite have it. We also have the ZL1 Camaro. That's something that's exciting to drive. We have the 296 GTB. That is something that's a little different. I would like to actually race this 296 GTB versus the iRacing GT3 car. I think that would be pretty fun. And then we had the BMW M4 CSL G82. This car is going to be so fun to drive. I'm super excited for it, but one thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is I may actually have to buy a circular wheel because I have the McLaren Fanatec wheel, so it only has, basically it's a GT3 wheel, so it doesn't have a full circle on each side. So if I want to kind of drift these cars around a little bit, I may have to get one myself. So if you do only have like a GT3 wheel with only like the flat portion of the wheel, you may have to purchase something if you do want to try and drift. But we have a couple of other cars, the Abarth, and then we also have the Toyota GR86, and we also have the Hyundai hatchbacks, which is, I don't love Hyundai, but that's just my personal opinion. But we have a lot of content releasing in this game, and I think it's overall going to be super fun. If you haven't seen any of the content, you can just go to the Assetto Corsa Evo webpage. All the information is there, but I will be streaming this game once it comes out on January 16th. If you want to see me live, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can catch me live and see what this game is actually about. We're going to be testing out as many cars as possible, as many tracks, and we'll compare them apples to apples. The Assetto Corsa Evo versus iRacing. And yeah, we'll see how it turns out on January 16th. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.